Ladies, today we're going to be going through shoes from hell. Yes, you heard that right. These are the most unelegant, unclassy, cheap looking shoes that I have ever seen. These are going to be different types of shoes. You have probably been wearing at least one of them. I know I have been in the past, and now that we live and we learn, I know never to repeat these mistakes, okay? If you're going on a date, if you're trying to look presentable, elegant, classy, expensive, please do not ever be caught wearing any types of these shoes, okay? So let's go through some photos. And by the way, my name is Karina. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about money, woman, and power. And yes, subscribe and like this video, but power comes in shoes as well. And these are just horrendous. Let's start with our first culprit, and that is the platform shoe. Despite the fact that they are quite more comfortable than other shoes, since they do have a platform to support your feet, they actually give off the wrong vibe. And you might know what vibe I'm talking about, okay? Let's just take a look quickly right here. They could look anywhere like this or like this. This is a common shoe with a platform. Even this, there are so many different types of shoes with platforms. And let's just be a little bit extreme, shoes such as these as well. All of these do have a platform, and they really give off the wrong vibe, okay? They kind of look like, you know what I mean. But basically, oh, just please avoid these shoes, okay? They're the furthest thing from classy. They're the furthest thing from elegance. And you don't want to be mistaken for someone you're not. The next one is our favorite Converse or sneaker shoe. I do love these high school, college days where people that are not in high school, not in college, still love a good pair of American Converse, right? I mean, they just look so comfortable. Not. I've actually owned a pair. Thank God that was a long time ago. And they're actually not very comfortable to walk in. Honestly, my feet get quite sore. They're not even a good walking shoe. But honestly, they just look like you're in high school. They look like you're in middle school. Literally, people in elementary and middle school wear them. And I understand it's a branding thing. And if you love wearing them, if you're like in California like me, they don't give off the elegant vibe. If you want to wear them, I understand that you have your style. But if you're aiming for elegance and class, that is not your type of shoe, and I highly advise against it, no matter how comfortable it may seem. The next one is my absolute hated type of shoe, and that is any shoe that looks worn out, scratched out, or has chipped heel, things like that. I mean, you've seen them. Maybe you even own a pair of shoes that you have been holding on to for its dear life because they're just so comfortable and work well with any outfit. But trust me, unless you can repair them and get the leather put back and the heel replaced, there is no way that you should be wearing any of these. Shoes are not meant to be with scratches or worn out or with a chipped heel. Even if you have an expensive shoe, it just takes it down your outfit. It looks very ripped and just unelegant. So if you can't repair it, toss it out. Now this next one might actually surprise you, especially if you're trying to look classy, well postured, all of the above. But that is actually a shoe with a very high heel. And this is similar to what I talked about with the first type of shoe, with the platform. And typically these types of shoes are paired with a platform as well. And these are the high heel shoes, the very high heel shoes, the unpractical, unreasonable, high-heeled shoe, okay? Here's some examples. There's one right here, and although they look slightly elegant and cute because they're Louis Vuittons, for example, just because they are a certain brand does not mean you should be wearing them. Every designer puts out something new, but again, this, for number one, 99% of people cannot walk in these. I mean, even if you can rock a good pair of heel, these are just so impractical. There's no way you can walk like you have a straight posture, walk straight, and plus you might probably twist your ankle. That's a hazard. And you're just going to look really silly tumbling around, grabbing onto things, walking really, really slow. I mean, we've all seen it. Maybe we've even been one of these girls that you see walking out of a restaurant on like half bent legs, like it's quite interesting. And if you cannot walk in a pair of shoes like that, then do not purchase it, do not wear it. It looks ridiculous. But these often, again, give out the wrong vibe, similar to the platform shoes, and especially when they are bundled together with a platform and a high heel, and they're super branded too. It just really gives off the wrong impression and makes the person look silly when they can't walk in these. And again, they just look quite tacky. So just stay away from heels that are just so tremendously high and unpractical. Ooh, these are also very popular, okay? The bulky type of shoe. This used to be in style a few years ago, actually, especially when you're younger. But again, we're not trying to look young like we're in high school. And these are the bulky type of shoes. Now, these are typically going more for the rock trends. You see them at concert. Maybe they're kind of booties, or sometimes they're the lace up. What are those called? Like almost army boots, army boot shoes. But they're not elegant, they're not classy, they're not ladylike, and it looks like you're going on a military hike or to a metal rock concert. And if that's your interest, that doesn't really clash so much with the elegant type of vibe. If you're trying to go for these types of shoes, then again, maybe that's your interest, but this channel is for kind of elevating you to different circles. And I just don't think these shoes do too much justice for the female, right? Especially something like this or that. I mean, they are just unattractive, and they make your legs look completely disproportional as well. So I would really stay away from these types of shoes as well. Next one, this one's one of my favorites, and that is shoes that are not white. And I don't mean color-wise, I kind of do, but I mean shoes that are supposed to be white, but they're not, okay? They have a little wear and tear. I don't care if they're designer. Once again, I don't care if they're plain shoes. If they were bought white, make sure you can contain them in that condition, or throw them away or buy a new pair. White shoes are the easiest to get dirty, especially if they're made out of that kind of cottony material or any type of fabric. And I know they're comfortable and maybe you might want to wear them somewhere, but there is nothing worse than having an old raggedy pair of shoes that just looks dirty. Oh, it is the most unattractive, unelegant thing in the world. So please do yourself a huge favor and just toss those bad boys out. Now let's talk about brands for a second. I know everyone loves designer clothes, especially ladies who think it's going to make them look more elegant, more classy, more luxurious, and there's nothing wrong with a beautiful designer pair of luxury shoes, but it becomes a problem when you're going a little overboard and it's a little too much, a little too flashy, if you know what I mean. And I've seen this more frequently than I would like. That is buying shoes that have the brand logo all over them. If it's tiny, if it's in the corner, if it's kind of a trademark of the brand, such as Louboutins and, you know, the red bottom heel, that's fine, that's acceptable. But if the brand is literally the shoe, such as these examples right here, you can see this in the Balenciaga shoe, not all of the Balenciaga shoes, of course, but this specific one that has Balenciaga literally every 2 millimeters. This Gucci shoe, one of the famous ones I've seen that really adhere to this principle is Coach, and they just brand their shoes. They really want to let you know that you're wearing a Coach shoe. It's like, look at me, I'm wearing a designer shoe. That's not what you want. That's very flashy. It just does not look classy. It looks show-offy, and it looks like it's the only designer shoe you have, and you're really trying to let everyone know that you have it. So please avoid them. A tiny little brand on the side or a trademark of the brand that looks classy and tasteful is fine, but don't go overboard with these high branded shoes. Ooh, another thing to really avoid is the ones, and this is kind of grayish area, but it could go to the black area very fast, and those are the really high boots, especially laced boots. Okay, you can get a classy high boot that looks elegant, but if you accidentally pick the wrong type of material, it could go down and start looking a little hoochie very, very fast. And again, you're going back to the vibe you're giving off if you're wearing shoes that are very, very high heeled or shoes that have a platform, and it's not the vibe you want to go after. And please do avoid the high boots that also have lacing in them. That actually even makes it worse. And you can kind of pull off a high boot in a way if you don't accentuate other parts of your features. You don't want to really take it over the top, and if you make one little mistake with styling that shoe, it could go down south really, really fast. And again, like I mentioned, the type of material that the shoe is made out of. But if you include the lace, oh, we're just on a different playing field now. Please do not do that. You're not going to attract the right type of people into your life, and you don't want to date those types of people, okay? Building up on that, shoes that have too much color. You know, this one looks a little bit like a scene from Pretty Woman, you know, pretty woman walking down the street. You don't want to be that as well. Things like that. Obviously, now I'm just having a little bit of fun. I don't think anyone actually wears these in public. I mean, I hope not. But it just looks too attention grabby, too... You just stay away, okay? No intense color pops. Unless, of course, it's done tastefully and it's kind of for the spring or summertime and there's a little bit color pop. But if you pair the color pop with something as hoochie as this, it really gives off the wrong message once again. This one is another one of my favorites, and I see girls wear this all the time because they think it's going to bring him a notch up. And I've mentioned this in so many videos before, and that is the bedazzlement. The bedazzlement of everything. That tends to be such a common theme. Bedazzlement with accessories, with clothing, and here we go with shoes. Please tell me, do you honestly think that these are real diamonds or rubies or Swarovski crystals? No, they're not. None of this is real, okay? And it's very, very obvious. It's very cheesy, and I don't even think I need to comment any more on this. I just think it looks so tasteless. Please just toss them out. Don't ever buy fake bedazzlement, no matter what piece of clothing or accessory it's on, because it looks like it's fake bedazzled, and it's really not doing you any favors whatsoever. I have been a huge negative Nancy when it comes to these types of sparkles, just because of how unauthentic they look, and it's so obvious that they are very cheaply made and inexpensive, and it just makes you look cheap and inexpensive. And do you want to look cheap and inexpensive? No. Then we move on to our creative shoes, and that is the people that love the prints. Oh, the weird prints I've seen. We can go to cheetah, we can go to leopard, we can go to, oh, one of the favorite ones is the fake snakeskin. I've touched on this in another video too. If you're wearing real snakeskin, that's highly unethical. If you're wearing fake snakeskin, that just looks really cheap. And typically those types of shoes and even garments are made out of actual fabric, so it's very obvious that it's not real. It just looks, again, really cheap. And if it is real, it's highly unethical. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but you should look up to how those shoes are made, and you probably will never ever want to buy snakeskin type of clothing again. It's just not treated humanely. So either way, it just looks bad. So stop. This next one I might get a lot of controversy about. Actually, the next couple, okay? This one, the wedge. Oh, I know girls love the wedge because it's comfortable, you can walk on it easier, but it's very hard to find a wedge shoe that actually looks classy. I mean, let's take a look. You don't want to look like you're a hillbilly. You don't want to look like you are walking out of shoes pay for less or whatever, or some other weird Western type of store. And just honestly, the wedge right here, it just looks so cheap. And usually the material that's placed on top of it also looks the same exact way. It just looks cheap. It looks a little bit, I don't know, it gives me like high school vibes, like the high school vibes, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't walk in heels, so I'm gonna get a wedge shoe, and then I'm gonna pretend like I can walk in heels. Just please stay away from the wedges. And a lot of them do come in horrible floral prints, which floral prints again are just really difficult to kind of find a good one that doesn't make you look like you're coming from a farm, but they just look just too inexpensive. They look like they're a $20 pair of shoe. And there's nothing wrong with a $20 shoe, except for the fact that it's gonna break in about 2 weeks, and you're better off just saving up your money and buying something a little bit more expensive that's going to last you a long time and is actually going to be comfortable, and floral print wedges are not it. Okay, now we moved on to my favorite one, and that is a good pair of sandal. And by good, I mean throw those things away. We're talking about in between the toe sandals, we're talking about bedazzled sandals, really any type of sandal. Most of them are made very, very poorly, and sandals are only for going to the pool. I mean, honestly, sandals are literally only for going to the pool from your hotel or from your community. And even then, please try to find something that doesn't actually look like a sandal between your toes. It's such a culture here, especially where I'm from, to wear these, but I just think they are the most hideous thing in the world, and I do not own a pair of sandals. I don't care if it's hot outside, I will find a shoe to replace the sandal with. But sandals are completely inelegant. No, 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 no. And the last one is shoes that are just made out of a really cheap material. For example, a common thing you'll see is really kind of like a shiny shoe that almost looks like it's made out of plastic. And these are a little scary because it literally looks like it's made out of plastic, and it cannot look good. I mean, just imagine, even if your hair is on point, your makeup is on point, your outfit is on point, and then you're coming in with a shoe, actually any one of these shoes that I just talked about, it's just not gonna end up well, you know? So honestly, just avoid all of these that I talked about. And most importantly is, if you're going to be wearing a classy high heel, you must know how to walk in it. That's just the #1 rule. If you don't know how to walk in a pair of heels, still buy them, but learn how to walk. Before you put them on and actually go in public, you have to look like you know how to wear them. Otherwise, you're gonna look like this. This is me trying to symbolize bent knees and kind of hovering and crawling on the floor. That's not what you want. It's not gonna make you look like you have long, amazing, elegant legs. It's gonna look like you're suffering and climbing up hills. We've all done it, okay? We gotta learn somewhere, but trust, just growing pains, just learn how to walk in them. But what shoes should you get then, right? I'll make another video about it. I'll link it down below if you're watching it after I've made it. So anyways, do subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. I have many on this channel. Like the video, and I will see you in my next one.